I'm too grown. I'm too mature. I did something bad. So in 2021, I made a promise to myself to try to reduce the amount of physical books that I buy. And in 2021, I was great because I only bought one physical book. Now it's the middle of March 2022. I have already bought 25 books. In comparison to where I was before, these 2 stacks that I have is not that bad. But this is definitely me regressing from a lot of progress that I made last year. These are only all of the physical books that I bought. Technically, I did buy more. I'm not gonna get too mad at myself for buying ebooks. It's the physical books that I'm trying to reduce because I am running out of space. Anyways, let us get started. I bought not 1, not 2, but 3 copies of Open Water by Caleb Azuma Nelson. I don't know why I did this. Well, I know why I did this. It was a mistake. I only meant to buy 1 because that's what sane people do. They only buy 1 copy of a book unless they're different editions. I added it to my Amazon cart 3 times and I didn't realize that there's 3 in there until it got to my house, and I was really confused at first. I was like, did they make a mistake and accidentally put 3 books? But no, I actually did pay for all of these. So I wasted $22 and now I have 2 extra copies. I could have returned it, but I procrastinated on that until it got to a point where I can no longer return it. So maybe put it in like those free little libraries or something. I don't know, but as for now, I have 2 extra copies. The next book is 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. Taylor Jenkins Reid was an author that I ignored for a very long time because I didn't think that her books would really interest me. So I never picked them up, but I did listen to Daisy Jones and the Six recently and I absolutely loved that. So I bought the 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, and I also bought Malibu Rising. And then this one is one of my more recent purchases, and it's In Order to Live by Yeonmi Park. This is a memoir of Yeonmi Park and it's about her journey escaping North Korea with her family. I have seen a couple of her interviews and her story just sounds so insane, for the lack of a better word. I just want to read more of her story from her perspective. And then the next book is The Molecule of More. This one is just, I've been told that it's like a biography of dopamine. I like reading scientific books that are not written like studies for fun because I already read a lot of studies in general. I'm actually doing a double major in biochemistry, molecular biology, and astrophysics in the biochem part of my degree. I study a lot of biological molecules, including dopamine. It's a lot more interesting to read about scientific things in non-scientific papers. Obviously, scientific papers there's a lot more to it. There's research methods and all of that. When I'm just trying to read science for fun, these are the kinds of books that I like to pick up. Kind of on the same note as that, I also picked up The Emperor of All Maladies, a biography of cancer by Siddhartha Mukherjee. This won a Pulitzer. This was written in 2010, so there's obviously a lot of outdated information here. There's so much research and so much progress that's been made in the last 12 years about cancer, which is amazing. Obviously, a lot of the stuff here is not going to be updated to what we know now in medicine, but I think this would still be a very interesting read because there's a lot of anecdotal stories here. It's a profoundly humane biography of cancer, from its first documented appearances thousands of years ago with the epic battles of the 20th century to cure, control, and conquer it, to a radical new understanding of its essence. This is a kind of book that even if you're not somebody who is very well versed in the sciences, I think this is going to be a very easy read. I don't think he uses a lot of technical terms here. This seems like a very approachable book. So if you are somebody who is curious about cancer but you're afraid of reading scientific papers and medical books about it, this might be a really good book for you to pick up. And then the next book, this is a book that I'm currently reading. I am currently, ow, oh my god, that just, holy shit, just pulled my hair. Clearly this book and I are not getting along. Actually, I'm really liking it so far, and it's War and Peace by Tolstoy. I feel like I've talked about this in so many videos lately, but it's just kind of been consuming my life, but I am really liking it, so I think my stack is about to fall. On the same note as Vicky books, I also have It by Stephen King. I started reading this. I'm already actually on page 88, but I decided to put it down, not because I wasn't enjoying it, but I think I want to give this a read around spooky season because right now I'm just not really feeling the Stephen King vibes. I haven't read a lot of Stephen King, but all of the stuff that I have read, I've loved. I'm very excited to get into it. Loved all of the movie adaptations. I'm not doing a very good job stacking these books. The next book, I read this pretty much immediately after I got it, and it was The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood. I feel like everybody's heard of this book at this point. It's just a romance between between a third-year PhD candidate and a professor, but not her professor, a professor from a different department. Fake dating, grumpy sunshine tropes. I just loved reading a romance about a woman in STEM, and that's set in the STEM academia world that I'm very familiar with. So this was fun. And then I have The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. Also read this pretty much immediately after I got it. I freaking loved this book. I actually really want to reread it, but I also have a weird thing about rereading the same books in the same year. I don't know why. We're gonna start taking from this stack finally. These 3 books are from the same series. I bought them after I read the first book in ebook form. I'm gonna link my vlog of it in the cards and down below as well. But I bought the first 3 books in the Addicted series. Addicted to You is the first book, and then Ricochet and Addicted for Now. I've read the first 2 books. I loved both of them. I gave both 5 out of 5 stars. I love this series so much. There's 10 books in this series and I'm only 2 books in, but I can confidently say that this is probably my favorite romance series I have ever read. I mean, I haven't read a lot of romance series, but this is my favorite so far. The next one I also already read and vlogged, so I'm going to link that video in the cards and down below as well. That is The Spanish Love Deception. You guys know. You guys already know I absolutely loved this book. Yeah. Got a poetry book and it's September Love by Lang Leave. I don't normally read poetry. I'm not a poetry kind of gal. Also, let's just appreciate this book. I accidentally dropped it in my dog's water bowl, so she's very warped now. Anyways, I don't really read a lot of poetry, but 2022 is the year of growth. I am trying to venture out, expand my horizons, do more things, read more things that I normally wouldn't read or do. And the tagline in the back really got me. It says, I used to think love had no limits, but I dropped the line at myself. And for anybody who is more well read on poetry, please leave me some recommendations down below that you think I would like. Next book, Uzumaki by Junji Ito, Spiral into Horror. Also the end papers, stop. Literally stop. In the summer between 6th grade and 7th grade, that was the last time I ever picked up any graphic novels or manga, because once I got to 7th grade, I was like, I'm too grown. I'm too mature to read any sort of books with pictures, which is a ridiculous thought. I don't know why I was in such a hurry to be grown. I've heard amazing things about Junji Ito. I read a couple of pages last night and I'm kind of obsessed with it. I really love his art style. This is about Kuru Uzo Cho, which is a small fog-bound town on the coast of Japan that is cursed. According to Suichi Saito, the withdrawn boyfriend of teenager Kirie Goshima, their town is haunted not by a person or being, but a pattern. Uzumaki. The Spiral. Then yesterday I also picked up from the same local bookstore, and look at how floppy. This is so floppy. I love it. It's The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang. I have heard amazing things about this book. So this is like a historical fantasy situation. Kuang pulls from East Asian history, including the brutality of the Second Sino-Japanese War. The next book that I bought, which is Ninth House by Lee Bardugo. This book is 100 pages longer than this book, but look at how much thinner it is. This is an adult dark academia book, I believe. It's set in Yale and there's like a secret society. So the main character is the sole survivor of a horrific unsolved multiple homicide. I love dark academia. I love mystery. I love any book that revolves around solving murders and stuff like that. So this sounds amazing. I've heard amazing things about it as well. Also, this cover, look at how pretty that snake is. I love snakes. This looks to be a Mexican black king snake, and it is actually a snake that I really have been wanting for years. I just don't have the time right now or the space to take care of a snake, but this specific snake is the one that I really want as my first snake. Oh my god, Stephen King blurbed it. He said, the best fantasy novel I've read in years. Okay. And then these next 3 books, it is the Folk of the Air trilogy. So that is The Cruel Prince, The Wicked King, The Queen of Nothing, and also, oh my god, look at this. You know how I said I love snakes? Look at that. Oh, that's gorgeous. Look at that gorgeous snake. This is a YA fantasy about, I think they're fae. I don't know. I heard something about a tail that I'm kind of a little, excuse the dogs, but I'm kind of a little scared about the tail situation. But I've heard so many people say that they love this series, so I have to read it. I am excited to get into it. These books are also pretty short. They're all only like 300 something pages. I feel like that's pretty unusual for fantasy books. Most fantasy books are like 500, 600, 700 even. Sometimes even longer than that. So I'm not doing a very good job stacking these books. Alright, it's kind of fixed. We are down to the last two books. Came from a subscription box. I have never done a book subscription box before, and I was pleasantly surprised by these two books. The first book is Frankenstein. Look at this really cool copy of it. I love the artwork on this. This is a classic story about a scientist who builds a monster. I'm sure you're familiar with Frankenstein. Kind of channeling my inner Frankenstein. My forehead's kind of square because of this hairstyle that I got going on. Then the next book, this one I'm super excited about. Only a Monster by Vanessa Len. In every story there is a hero and a monster. She is not the hero. And she's signed. This is my favorite part. It should have been the perfect summer. Sent to stay with her late mother's eccentric family in London, 16-year-old Joan is determined to enjoy herself. She loves her nerdy job at the historic Holland House, and when her super cute co-worker Nick asks her on a date, it feels like everything is falling into place. Then, a Good Samaritan attempt gone wrong sends Joan spinning through time, and her life quickly begins to unravel. Her family isn't just eccentric, they're monsters with terrifying hidden powers, and Nick isn't just a cute boy. He's a legendary monster slayer who will do anything to bring them down. As she battles Nick, Joan is forced to work with the beautiful and ruthless Erin Oliver, heir to a monster family that hates her own. She'll have to embrace her monstrousness if she is to save herself and her family, because in this story, she's not the hero. This sounds like it's gonna have that I'm supposed to kill you, but now I kind of love you trope. And again, morally gray characters. I'm super excited for this. I've heard amazing things about it actually. So those are all the books that I have for today. All 25 of them. I think I'll be going in a book buying ban because your girl needs to calm down. Most of these books are unread, so I need to actually read them first before I buy new books. But yeah, that is all for this video. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up down below, and also hit the subscribe button while you're down there, and I will see you guys on the next one. Bye.
Life goes up and it goes down. I know my mom taught me that. I figured why we fool around.